All right, what is up, my friends? Welcome to the Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. I am home from the Magic the Gathering World Championship, where I did okay. I did make day two. Unfortunately, day two didn't go so great. I came in 53rd place. I won $6,000. Not that bad, I guess. Can't be too sad about it. And of course, my article on Frada here on CoolStuffInc.com is a full recap of the event, as well as on my YouTube. I did both of my usual recap, as well as a more detailed kind of behind-the-scenes look at what it looks like in the testing house with Reed and Kai and everyone, which is really, really cool. Those are both on my YouTube. Check those out. Today I'm playing the deck that I played in Worlds. Seth Manfield took a very similar list to top 8. Seth originally built the deck, and 5 members of my team played it. And I didn't run particularly well in the tournament. I think the deck is pretty good. I think I ran pretty cold, honestly. In 8 rounds of play, I never cast Up the Beanstalk on turn 2 and Overlord of the Hauntwoods on turn 3 in the same game. Nor did I really have Beanstalk in play almost ever, which is obviously the key card of the deck. So I think I ran a little cold. The deck's pretty awesome. And what this deck is a kind of a melding of the Golgari mid-range strategy with the domain ramp strategy, where it's more like Golgari control than Golgari ramp. The idea here is to kind of shore up the weaknesses of each other deck while not adding new weaknesses. So Golgari mid-range, good against creatures, good against smaller decks, good against aggro decks, not as good against decks playing kind of doing big things like the mono white control decks or domain decks. And the domain decks tend to be weak against decks that are coming out of the gates really, really fast, or decks that have good tempo, cheap creatures and counter spells, whereas we have a lot of removal spells. So we can kind of handle both sides of the ball here, which is pretty sweet, and then have a good mixture of cheap threats like Glissa and Sheoldred, with a ton of removal spells. Go for the throat. Anoint, Affliction, really important card in this format. Exiling's huge. Cut Down and Friends. Tear Asunder, also great in this format. But we go big too. So of course, Up the Beanstalk alongside Overlord is the main draw. But there are a number of other big cards in the deck. Harvester of Misery has been great as a removal spell or big creature. Deadly Cover-Up's also been awesome. Some of the decks in the format are pretty threat light. Like the Oculus decks only have like 2 cards that actually win the game. If you remove one of them, it's a big deal. And then we have Virtue Persistence, which is a kill spell and a big spell. Outrageous Robbery, a pretty awesome big spell, really good against Domain and Mono White as a way to kind of just like, I have 1 copy of this card, I'll draw it eventually, and then I'll, X equals 15, get most of your deck. And then Pillage the Bog is sort of like our extra big card. So Pillage the Bog is a split card. It can be a cheap removal spell if you need it to be, or it can be a big card if you need it to be. And then also in the mid game, it can just be the right card. This is very close to Demonic Tutor past turn 5 or 6. As you know, all the lands in play from Overlord. Also important to note, this is a Fountainport deck. So it's kind of like what a mono white Fountainport deck too, where using Fountainport, using all the extra mana we get from our Overlord of the Hauntwoods to power up our cottages and our Fountainports. And then Cottage makes food. You can sack to Fountainport. You can sacrifice everywhere lands to Fountainport, as well as just making fish and stuff like that too. So deck's pretty sweet, honestly. Seth built a really cool one here, and like it a lot. Sideboard wise, a couple extra kill spells and cut down. Cruelclaw's Heist comes in against the bigger decks. It can also come in spots where like you don't want to give them a card. In some of the bigger matchups like the mid-domain, you do want to give them a card. If you're bringing it in against like Dimir or like more controlling decks, you don't. But X Tear Asunders, Ghost Vacuum for the Oculus decks, other graveyard decks. Aclazotz, big deal in the mid-range mirrors. Really, really powerful card, obviously. Then a couple one-ups here. Nissa's phenomenal against Domain and the bigger decks playing Overlords. Second Robbery for Domain and bigger decks. Swarmweaver was a card that only I played. We kind of discussed it on the last day. I was the only person to pull the trigger. Actually, the only copy of this card in the tournament. And this is the card I wanted against Dimir. The little flyers, as well as just kind of decks going wide on you. Convoke, good card to bring in. It can block and kind of keep you alive. Overall, I enjoyed it in the tournament. Brought it a number of times. Eclipse, a nice sleeper to have. And then the Fort Duress. So, deck's sweet. Deck's a lot of fun to play. It's hard to play, but a lot of fun to play. And a pretty good choice going forward. Of course, Seth made top 8 with it. The team didn't do like great with the deck, but it's also freaking Worlds. Worlds is the hardest tournament of the year, so small sample size as well. So, deck's cool. Let's play some games. Brought to you here by CoolStuffInc.com.
CoolStuffInc.com is a proud sponsor of Jim Davis, and you can show your support while getting 5% off your entire order by using the promo code JIM5 at checkout. Need singles for constructed or kitchen table play? Looking to pick up sealed product or the latest in Magic accessories? We've got you covered. CoolStuffInc.com is the place for all your Magic the Gathering needs, and remember to use the code JIM5 at checkout for 5% off. CoolStuffInc.com, cool stuff in stock.
All right, on the draw. Good mana, removal spell, Glissa, this is all pretty good. No beans, unfortunately. We got a cottage. I was not very good at drawing beans at Worlds, unfortunately, so... My opponent is, unfortunately, so... What is this? Restless Cottage, Dark Slick Shores, Beanstalk? That's interesting. Card I gotta put on here, sorry. Alright. Not ideal. Not sure what this could be. It's pretty interesting. Overlord of the Flood Pits, Beanstalk, draw card, Cavern of Souls naming Avatar. Oh, alright. Discarding, analyze the pollen. Sure. So we draw an Overlord of our own. We could fire in Glissa here. We're just not going to get a mana advantage, I think. They'll probably just kill it. It's our first creature, so just impend. So some sort of Overlord Sultai deck something. Probably not domain because they're playing Dark Slick Shores. This was my Worlds, unfortunately. I was really, really bad at drawing the card Up the Beanstalk, which of course is the hallmark card for the entire deck. And they're Overlord of the Balemark. Sure, yeah, and they're doing a much better job than I am here. So, alright, we're probably in trouble, but they mill over some stuff. They can't return the Overlord. Overlords go off, and we're just gonna keep playing our own Overlords and kind of get in here a little bit. All right, we draw a forest. Sure. Well, spawn more Overlords, please. And of course, the Fountainport really, really good with these everywhere tokens. Mana advantage pretty good too with our creature lands. Kind of the whole point of this deck, honestly, is the mana advantage. We're not trying to cast Atraxa and stuff like that. Of course, we can cast cards like Virtue and where is it? Outrageous Robbery. But a lot of our mana just goes into our lands. Fountainport and Restless Cottage is pretty good. So, but it's got a lot of cards. We got a lot of work to do here. But if we can draw out a kill spell or two, maybe we can get this Sheoldred going. Then we're going to Overlord of the Flood Pits again. Man. Gotta get the Sheoldred in play, right? And then they're going to draw a bunch more cards. And they have many, many, many cards in hand. I get to attack here with my Overlord. That's awesome. So it's probably just an Overlord plus Cottage attack, honestly. Let's see. Dark Slick Shores, discarding Cavern. All right, so Duress is a great draw here. That's going to give us a little more information about what's going on. Let's Duress them. We see a hand of, oh my god, Harvester, 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 Aclazotz, Deadly Cover-Up, and Up the Beanstalk. They currently don't have an answer to my Sheoldred, which is kind of gas, actually. I guess they could, like, triple Harvester it, which would be fine, I suppose. So, let's take the Cover-Up. And I guess we're not going to fire with the Cottage then, so just attack. And make it everywhere. Deal 6. Play land. Play Sheoldred. Say go. And draw your card, please. So if they want to cast a big spell, I take a bunch of damage off the beans. We got the creature land in here too. Again, they could channel 3 Harvester Miseries to kill the Sheoldred, then I just get it for 10, which I think is fine. With the Overlord and the Cottage. Alright, what do you got, friend? Just gonna play Aclazotz. That is a bold decision, my friend. Take 4. And obviously Aclazotz is a good card. We can just kill it here, so... Alright, get out of here, friend. You're gone. I guess their Overlord's gonna turn on, but, like, it's kind of whatever. Get your land. Get an Overlord. Untap. Draw beans of our own. Just fire up the Cottage and kill them, right? Works for me. They can block Sheoldred, but they take a bunch of damage and die. That's pretty cool. Alright, so pretty weird first game. My opponent, like, did a lot of stuff, but didn't actually, like, win, you know? Like, but clearly a very mid-rangey matchup here. One thing about the Black Overlord is that you cannot exile a card in the middle of a trigger. So Vacuum seems kind of meh. I will say these cut downs and stuff seem kind of bad. I like the idea of these Duresses and the Heists. Pretty cool. It's a great Nissa matchup, it looks like. Maybe some Tear Asunders also. Cut down the Anoints. Harvester Mystery seems pretty bad also. And Aclazotz of our own seem good. Virtue of Persistence seems less good. We can just cut some of these go for the throats too. We don't need much removal against them. Between Tear Asunder, Cover Up. I think even shaving a Cover Up's fine too. We bring in the Robbery. Let's try this. Try it again. Definitely not a matchup I played at Worlds. But cool deck. Well, we drew a Beanstalk and the Overlord, but I only have one land. This was kind of a story of my Worlds. In 8 rounds of Constructed, that's, 16 plus games, I never had turn 2 Beanstalk, turn 3 Overlord once, which is somewhat unlikely, I would say. But all right, not a great hand, but we're not going to go 5. So we draw Cruelclaw's Heist. Kind of a weird card. Matt Sperling was big on this one. Oh, we did it. We drew the beans. All right, let's beans first. Whether to gift or not is always a pretty tough choice, but this card is good in these kind of big matchups. And they got a passage. They're gonna crack it. Getting a Forest, Cottage, Dark Slick Shores, and ooh, they got a Paw Patch my beans. Pretty rude. We draw Tear Asunder. Could kill their beans, but we're just gonna heist here, I think. I think we're gonna gift a card too. Let's gift a card, so we get to. They draw a card. We see their hand. It's got a lot of stuff. Overlords. Ruthless Negotiation, Deadly Cover-Up, Tranquil Frillback. Honestly, not much removal from my my Sheoldred and Bat God. I'm somewhat inclined to want to take the Overlord of the Flood Pits. I'm going to play a land. And then I might just jam Sheoldred. Cavern of Souls allows them to cast the Flood Pits. I guess if they Overlord of the Hauntwoods, maybe that's worse for us. Yeah, that seems worse for us. Let's take that. The thing is that this Overlord's going to fix their hand, too, but the mana advantage is pretty important. Sure, let's take this. Let's take this, I'll play a land as they go, and then we'll decide how I want to play our next turn. Might just play Sheoldred and just hard cast the Overlord. We'll see what we draw, though. Tear Asundering their Beanstalk is not a thing I'm excited to do, but I think I might have to do, so. Another Beans off the top. Sure. I mean, the cover-up killing Sheoldred's kind of annoying. Also, analyze the pollen off the top. Good rips. And Ruthless Negotiation. We can dump this go for the throat. Alright, so we draw a Forest. Casting Sheoldred makes them cast Cover Up, and they will take 6 damage in the in turn, which is pretty good, I think. It's not worth it. Play Sheoldred, so they go. They take 2. Yes, they want to go land, Cover Up, draw 2 cards, they take more damage. You hard cast Overlord, just kind of go from there. Alright, so here's Cover Up. Draw your Beans cards. Yeah, we're getting absolutely pounded in card advantage this game, unfortunately. We've been losing the Bean battle. We draw Duress. Duress is pretty interesting. I think I want to just cast the Overlord. We could cast Aclazotz and just try and Mise here. They have 3 unknown cards. Yeah, let's just do that. We're not really pushing a mana advantage for anything. We have no good lands in play and all our cards in hand. 6 extra mana doesn't matter that much. Just try and get it. We're behind here, so let's just try and get our boy down and see what we can do. Sure. So that sucks. They had the answer too, which is annoying, but is what it is. We draw Tear Asunder again. Oh, man. All right. We are obviously way behind this game. Just 2 beans to 0. We have a lot of 1-for-1s in our hand, but no real engines. They have creature lands, more mana. Frillback can kill this. They can just hardcast this and draw 10,000 cards. So I'm not sure how I feel about this card. You know, it's a card that hasn't made much noise. Matt Sperling was really high on it and wanted to play it really badly. Originally, Seth had 2 Deep Cavern Bats on the board. I think Seth might have actually played. I don't remember. His list was a little different than ours. But we draw Virtue of Persistence. All right. We are just going to Duress and probably kill this. We see a hand of no spells. Overlord, Frillback, Overlord. This is about as bad as it gets for us. So let's tear us under this. Attack. Now I have 7 mana for our Virtue. They are at 8. But right now our I guess our Virtue can return the Sheoldred, but they have a Frillback to both exile the graveyard and kill an enchantment. Pretty bad. And again, this game's going very badly for us. Alright, they're going to use the Frillback now. That's cool. So the Frillback probably just kill the Overlord and play their own Overlord, but we can then exile and cast our Virtue and hope it's good enough. I mean, what can we do, you know? No! Wow, they're going to do all 3? It's a little stinky. Alright, I guess. Sure. And they're going to Overlord. Alright, so draw a bunch of cards. Again, getting totally outbeamed here. I guess we can just cast Tear Asunder. I mean, they have an Overlord in the bin now, which is kind of cool. We can cast our Virtue. Let's hold this. Alright, untap. We draw Outrageous Robbery, which is a pretty good breaker. Robbery for 5 years is a nice way to kind of get back in this game. We're obviously way behind on mana and cards, but this could be a way to get back. Sure, let's try this. X is 5. Playing in main phase, trying to land. Beans, Tidebinder, and some lands. Alright. Not too bad. Next turn, we actually go Beanstalk and Virtue. Tidebinder is an advantage they have over us by playing blue, I suppose. Yeah, that's an Overlord. They just never want to actually cast. They're just pending it again. They just love impending Overlords, you know? They're about 20 cards deeper into their deck than us. Play a Reef. I'm going to flashback a Ruthless Negotiation. Again, I think we're a huge underdog this game, but I guess we're just going to keep playing. Alright, so 2 mana up. I would not be surprised if they had a counterspell. But what can we do? Draw a Duress. I guess we could Duress first. We could also just like Duress Beans and cast the Locthwain's Scorn. Alright. Urgent Necropsy, Disdainful Stroke, Deadly Cover-Up. So there's your cover-up. They have a stroke for my thing. They have this thing too. Oh my god, this is like just not very fun. Still a long way to go here. Let's take... I feel like we should just concede this game, honestly. Alright, let's cast Up the Beanstalk. We draw a Virtue, sure. So let's Virtue this. Play a Forest. Say go. Kind of hard to not have it all, and you draw this many cards. Alright, so they drew another Overlord. They are just... Oh, they're going to frill back. Okay. Sure. So we can just tie Binder to Trigger, I think. Let them pay the mana, obviously. It's a reflexive trigger or something like that. Tie Binder this. I mean, we have 2 Virtues I gotta fight through. I would put our chance of winning this game as non-zero, you know? Maybe those deck. We just draw a nice Robbery and draw them for like 10 cards and deck them. It is weird they feel like they've drawn like 20 extra cards and then they're not just like overwhelmingly beating us, which is very bizarre. Also imagine they probably have Jace in their deck too, which is bad for us. Lords come down. You draw Glissa. Alright, well. Scoring ya. And they are also only at 12, so they do have a Restless Reef they can block, though. You're not going to risk that. So, Cavern of Souls, name, Avatar, and we'll just cast our first Virtue and draw a card. Alright. I mean, they can Urgent whatever this. We have another one in the bank also. So no attacks. They go. Instead, they can kill the Virtue and the Tidebinder, which isn't too bad. Collective Evidence. Being still there. 5, 10, 12, 5. So we're starting to even out the mana advantage like a little bit. Not really, I guess, but they're going to... I don't understand why they're just completely allergic to hard casting an Overlord. They just like, you know, you can impending it, but I feel like you just want to cast it. Get that thing in play, you know? Alright, let's play a land. 6 cards in hand. 18 cards in deck. This thing is a must. You must draw 2 cards when it attacks. Relevant for decking purposes. Here comes a Restless Reef. Sure. Alright. We got some creatures in the bin. Yes, we do. I mean, once again, I feel like it's impossible to win this game, but we're going to keep trying. So we draw. Alright, let's cast the Virtue. Draw a card. It's a lot of lands too, but sure. Alright, play Glissa. Play a land. We got one cottage in here. I only have 1 utility land, unfortunately. Still kind of can't believe we have a chance to win this game. It does seem kind of ridiculous, but they've already used 2 frillbacks and 1 Tear Asunder. They're going to Overlord, which also mills them. So draw 2 more cards. Mill 4 more cards. This can return frill back, I guess. But... and a Virtue. They have 11 cards left. If we just draw Robbery, we win. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I think they're flying a little close to the sun here. Rona's Vortex. What a brewski. 11 cards in deck. Here's a Reef. We have 35 cards in our deck. We're also almost dead too, so it's probably just Robbery or bust this turn. We draw exactly Robbery. We are 3% to draw it. We draw Up the Beanstalk. We play Up the Beanstalk. Oh! The teaser, the untapped updates for the graphic goes. 2, 4, 6, 8. They're not going to deck, though. We're going to die first. No! So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get 8 cards. They go down to 3. Draw for their turn. Draw for their turn. Go to 2. And they can even attack with the Overlord still. So I guess we need to like robbery for 4 and try and draw our cover up off Beans or their cover up. Problem is they have this Restless Reef too. So that sucks. It is possible they have Jace in their deck. We could. So I think we're going to cast Robbery X equals 4. No. X equals 3. Again, if we hit cover up, we just die to the Restless Reef. That's not good enough. Jace. Urgent Necropsy would not save us. Some combination of like removal spell and urgent thingy could save us too. I need to think. 2, 4, 6, 8. Draw to 10. All right. X3. We gotta hurry up here. We draw lands. We get Beans, cover up, go for the throat. That sucks. Alright, well, whatever, I guess. We'll cover up and look at their deck. Alright, we draw. Oh my god. Complaint equity for days. Draw a million lands. We'll exile their, whatever. Doesn't matter. Their hand is, they have a robbery of their own. They have overlords. Their library contains an Aclazotz and Obstinate Baloth. So they have no chases. I don't know what the hell this guy's doing in here, honestly. But, alright. So they're just like a really, really big deck. Which is interesting because like they seem much, much worse against the aggro decks, but probably good in the kind of mirror matchups. So that's fine. Alright, so we'll go to game 3. Add in the Weaver for a few extra threats. Alright, game 3 on the play. Hand's great keep. Don't dress me, please. We got the Beans. No Duress off Botanical Segments. We should redraw a Duress of our own. Ooh, wow. Do you want to try and Duress their Beans? I think I do. Also, we can see if the post is clear. I might just cast Glissa. Let's look. So we see a hand of Paw Patch Formation, Analyze the Pollen, Negate, Go for the... We can take Go for the Throat, cast the Glissa. Kind of like that, honestly. Yeah, man. Take Go for the Throat. That's kind of the cool thing about this deck is that, like, you know, we do just, like, play creatures sometimes. We're not just all about the big stuff. Okay. Leave up Negate? Yeah, sure. Leave Negate all you want, my friend. Because Glissa is here. Phyrexian. Alright. Glissa's coming in. They have a Negate in their hand? No problem. Drawing cards. Alright, let's play a land here and say go. No reason to leave up to cast Beanstalk into Negate. Tap land? I would not be able to Tear Asunder at full kicker, but I think it's fine, so just say go. In no rush. Glissa's doing work. We're happy to go here. Here's land number 4. They play Aclazotz, we just exile it, which is awesome. course, it also kills enchantments, which is huge too. A lot of enchantments in the matchup. What do you got, friend? They have their own Tear Asunder here. Analyze the pollen. Search for a basic. You got it, friend. All right, Glissa. Beans again. Love it. Just banking up that value. Draw a card. Uncheck Glissa here. And then we... So now we could play Sheoldred, but the fear is they have a deadly cover-up. Didn't seem to have too much spot removal in their deck. So let's just keep chilling here, I think. Leave up Tear Asunder for Aclazotz. Not playing Beans and a negate. We're just milking our Glissa here, which sounds disgusting, but it's working. Oiling our Glissa, perhaps? Play Cottage as they go, sure. We draw land. Alright, well, Glissa's coming in one more time. Draw a card again. We draw a Llanowar Wastes. So, we could just cast Sheoldred here. I could also just, like, play a Beanstalk and draw out their negate. But, like, we haven't needed to do anything yet because they aren't doing anything either. So, if I play Sheoldred and say go, and they untap and Aclazotz, and they Wrath, they would take 2. Then I should go Beans. I want to say go again. I don't want to rush to do anything. Instead, pop at to make a food, draw a card, sure. Again, they mostly just showed cover up as removal, so. No creatures in any graveyards. Obviously wanted to play Aclazotz into my Tear Asunder. They play a Beans. Okay. Annoying, but sure. Looks like I can just kill that, which is great. And Overlord of the Flood Pits, draw a card. Sure. So never tapped out. We can resolve our own Beans, which is great. Glissa can just kill their Beans. Do I want to cast Tear Asunder? I would say no. It's my answer to Aclazotz. So untap. Aclazotz of our own is a phenomenal draw. Let's start by beaning. Fire the Beans. We draw a Cottage. Sure. So land, attack. For target enchantment. We'll destroy the Beans. Play our own Aclazotz. Can they cover up now for... They can cover up with the exile on the Aclazotz, but... We've got... I guess we're even on mana, and somewhat even on... We're ahead on cards. Ahead on board, ahead on cards. Beans again. Do they have the deadly cover-up is the question. If they do, the game's interesting. If they don't, the game is over. We drew Overlord, which is nice. We can go Beans Overlord. Oh my god. They don't have it. They don't have it. Sick. Draw land. Alright, well, first things first, right to combat. They're letting us attack. Aclazotz, discard a card. We get a bat. I drew a cute bat token for Worlds. It's the only token I didn't have, so I drew one on the Infinity tokens they give us. It's quite a match here. Urgent Necropsy, killing Glissa and Beanstalk. That is fun. If they had a cover art, they would have cast it for sure. So I'm pretty cool just play Beans, Overlord, and Creature Land. It's all pretty good. Beans, draw a land. Overlord, draw a card. Another Beans. Now we're Beansing. Play Cottage. Say go. Tons of mana. Cottage is huge here, obviously. If they say they have a super, we can get it for damage. They have a super, we can go get in for 4 and play Sheoldred, which is awesome. So... what do you got, friend? Old Jack. There's cover up. This will exile my Aclazotz or whatever, which is fine. We've got enough mana up to go for a Sheoldred and a Cottage. And more Beans. Alright, so... I think we're golden here, honestly. Beans again. So Shield's completely down. And we draw Pillage the Bog, it's gas. Alright, yep, fire up the Cottage. Getting in. Exiling their 5-drop for future evidence. And we're going to go land, Beans, Sheoldred in the other order. Life probably won't matter here, but... and we say go. So if they can't deal with Sheoldred in response to their draw, they go to 1. And looks like they couldn't. And then a lot of things they have to kill Sheoldred cost 5 anyway, which would kill them as well. So I think we're locked up here. With the Cottage, and then I also have Demonic Tutor in my hand. We have 22 cards to look at for Pillage the Bog, which is most of my deck. Go find a Boom Boom. This is a way to play, like, extra big things in our deck, but a cheap card. This can be, you know, a Go for the Throat, or it can be another 5-drop, because obviously the 5-drop count is like a little light. So there you go, sweet. That was a pretty awesome first match there. Kind of sick. We didn't do great with the deck overall, honestly, but I feel like I definitely ran a little cold, but I don't know. It's hard to know. Deck seemed well positioned, and I don't know. I ran pretty cold my matches. I know Sperling didn't make day 2. Who else played it? Brent did not make day 2. Although Brent 0-3 drafts didn't even play it that much. Team played half Dimir and half Golgari. I played Golgari because I like to have a little bit of an edge. I'll discuss more about it in the review. All right, we're on the draw. This hand is pretty bad. Opponent mulligans, we're going to mulligan too. Yeah, I mean, this plays, I guess. We'll keep this. Opponent mulligans to 5. Man, ugly game brewing here. I mean, Citadel on block is super awkward. We could not decide what to play between Citadel and Underground Mortuary. Citadel is very powerful in this deck. We wanted to play 2, but just couldn't pull the trigger on it because it was kind of late in the process. Citadel obviously powers up Cottage as well as Fountainport, but is not a dual source of mana. So as you can see in this hand, a Mortuary would be much better than Citadel is. But we drew Cottage, so better lucky than good. So let's Cottage. They go. Opponent's playing Dimir. Dimir is a matchup where our deck is pretty good in these mid-range mirrors, but Dimir has the counterspells and a little more of a flash component, which is good against us. They also have the Fairy Mastermind, which is very good against us. We draw a Swamp. We could leave up Anoint for Fairy Mastermind, or we can Duress and pave there for Glissa. We're going to do that, I think. So let's Duress. Chances misses, obviously, which would suck, but if it does, I think it should be in decent shape. They have Go for the Throat, land, Gix. They're able to Gix this next turn. It sucks, but... Alright, so name green, say go. They get to play Gix, draw a card of Siren. We get to kill the Gix. And they really don't have much left, honestly. So it's kind of just like, will they draw Curiosity or another payoff or not? You know, this is definitely a mid-range deck, but certainly has an element of just like, you know, A plus B, you know, bad creature plus that. No, don't tap like that, please. Thank you. So we're going to Anoint this Gix. Have cut down for the Siren, which is actually pretty great. They have another Gix. Or on a map. Go for it. Get out of here. Cut down. So 3 unknown cards. They play a deep cavern with that. It's fine. So whatever card they don't take will play next turn. I think I prefer to try and get hardcast Overlord at this point, but sure, that's fine. So let's go land Overlord. And start that mana advantage up. So you start working this Fountainport. We have a Citadel for the Fountainport and the Everywheres. Cyber. If that was an Enduring Curiosity, we were probably dead, so long as they don't hit their payoffs here. Not far as a Mastermind. Mastermind's pretty good. Alright, so we're just looking for some kill spells here. We draw a Go for the Throat. We could just kill a bat and get Glissa back and just cast Glissa. That's pretty good. Glissa, of course, is not... Or, Glissa's not great against the Mastermind, though. Or I could just hardcast the Overlord, set up for this next turn. The mana advantage is cool. If their last card's a counterspell, it would suck, but... Let me get the mana advantage going here. Just cast this. Please don't be Phantom Interference. It's not. More mana the better, you know. It's also a freaking 6/5, too, so... This makes our Fountainport more relevant. They have another Mastermind. Oh, man, they're masterminding for days here. Alright, so... Double Mastermind's pretty annoying, so they're really good multiples, obviously, but... We draw a Virtue of Persistence. Great draw. So, let's start by jamming. More Everywheres. And then we are going to Virtue the Deep Cavern Bat, and then I believe say go. I could just cast Glissa, I guess. They get in for 5. That's too bad, actually. They get in for 5, but I attack back for a lot, and I have a kill spell in my hand also. We have this Cottage, too, so like we're dealing potential large amount of damage. If I... With 2 Masterminds in play, they can double draw, triple draw even, but I can upkeep the Go for the Throw before I even draw a card. It's kind of cool. So let's do this. Let's go like this. Play Glissa, say go. We have a lot of power in play. A lot more than them. Once again, if I draw a Curiosity here, it's very bad for us, but even they might be able to race. Alright, so go to 8. They draw a Reef. So we're going to upkeep Go for the Throat, because if I kill the Mastermind before I've drawn a card, then they can't activate draw 2 cards, which is pretty sweet. So I do want this Fountainport available, though, so this way they can't draw Mastermind, which is kind of a cool little interaction there. Then we're going to untap and draw a land. Pretty cool is that we have our Overlord to block next turn, which is nice. We each get to fire up this Cottage, which is pretty gas, so let's Cottage. And then we're going to jam. And then I think I'm not even going to draw a card off Glissa, because I think we're ahead on the board, and us both drawing a card is bad here, so... Although I guess if they want to end step Mastermind, I could just draw a card anyway, because they can only Mastermind 1 extra card regardless, so... Yeah, I'll draw a card. It's fine. Draw a kill spell is insane too, so... I guess because it's first strike damage, if they draw a Go for the Throat, they can kill a creature before it deals damage. That's fine, though, so let's draw. Because they're going to end step activate Mastermind anyway, so... Draw land, that sucks. Alright, so... They're set to go to 4 here, so it's 7 to 4 with a food in play. And a blocker. You... stupid person. Well, that was the literal best card in their entire deck they could have drawn. Is a removal spell and a threat, and now they can kill us with a Reef. So we have to draw exactly our removal spell here. We're dead. This is so gross. I guess maybe I shouldn't have let them draw. They were going to end step activate Mastermind anyway, but this is like the actual worst possible. All right. Well, hope we draw our removal spell. We draw a cut down. That is good enough. No, it's not. They're all exactly lethal. They have no choice but to go for it. So 4, 5, 6, 7. What a disgusting game of Magic. I guess I'm an idiot for drawing the card. I mean, clearly it was like a one-outer, but it was the best possible. There we go. Yeah, that is really, really, really gross. And the food brings us to 10. It's exactly 10. Killing this brings us to 10 to 7. It's exactly 7. All right. I guess you got me. I guess that one's on us. I thought drawing a card was better for us than for them because they were going to activate the thing anyway. But I did not factor in them playing a threat and or removal spell as their draw. So I guess it was wrong. Again, they were going to draw off the Mastermind anyway, so I was trying to minimize the value from that, but whatever. It is what it is. So we're going to bring in the Weaver, which is exactly for this matchup. We're going to bring in Tear Asunder. Unfortunately, we don't have her list. Our list of Dimir played 4 Curiosity because it was like the best card of the deck by far. Some folks at Worlds played 1. Sure, I guess. But if they have 4, we could have one that's only have 1 or 2, and it's a thing. They were playing Gix, so we cut some of the clunkier cards here. We bring in the Bats. We're gonna bring in the Eclipse and the cut downs. I had to cut a lot of cards here. Covers. I think the Harvester. 2 cover-ups. What else we cut in this matchup? I think the Bog's too slow. I don't recall. Actually, we got Go Over the Throat, which is kind of weird. But we just have so many other removal spells. It's the worst one by far. I mean, I only have 3 Tear Asunder. Yeah, this is fun. All right. We draw Beans, Duress, tap land, awkward, but whatever. It's fine. Hand's pretty good. So, Mortuary, looking for a land. We find it. It's painful, but whatever. We're going to go Beans and Duress, Anoint. You can't remove a Beans once it's in play, which is great. Cut down for Mastermind, also great. I think we're in great shape here. Deep Cavern Bat, whatever. So we get to go Duress them and kill the Bat. Two kill spells. Bat is, whatever, you know? They take the cheapest one. We draw a Virtue, which is actually a pretty good draw. Let's Duress and Virtue. So let's look at their hand and see a hand of 2 Go for the Throats, 2 Gix, and an Urtai. So maybe they're not playing that many Curiosities. Like, so I take Go for the Throat. Kill this Bat. Just keep doing our thing. Unfortunately, the cut down can't kill the Gixes, but we have another kill spell. So maybe he's Wraths too. Land Gix. Tap and draw a land. We're just going to kill this while they're tapped out, I think. Yeah. Kill this. There you go. Yeah, Enduring Curiosity is like, we quickly discovered it being the best card in Dimir by far. And we were shocked that players at Worlds did not have like 4 copies of that card. Alright, this is ugly, but we're going to do it. We're just going to Tear Asunder here. Just can't let Gix get going. They have a Reef. They have 2 Reefs, actually, but whatever, it's fine. Just gonna, can't let them draw any cards, you know? They're certainly the beat down here. We're definitely the control deck. That's really good. So Kaido, really, really good. Good rips. Kaido and Curiosity, both the 2 real cards of his deck. We draw a land. Unfortunately, we have no way to do much here, honestly. Play Glissa into their Go for the Throat because we just need to play a spell. Cut down Virtue. Cover up, not so good against Kaido, obviously. Just gonna stun my Glissa and attack.
Control the fight.
Sure.
Control the outcome.
Oh my god, these cut downs. Alright, we'll say go, I guess. Maybe they'll just cast Urtai. No. Yeah. Definitely, you know, we're the control deck. We need to have the right answers at the right times. And we do not currently have a good answer.
Now I know you.
Some of the guys of the team played a blot out in their board, where I played the Swarmweaver. I thought Weaver had more utility in other matchups, but they play a Preacher. I also can't cut down that one either. Oh my god. Oh, what a gross game. Alright, I guess we're gonna cover up. Just like kill the Preacher, draw a card. Yeah, this really stinks, but sure. Kaido's pretty good. Just Citadel, which is like not that great, I guess, but alright, play this on greens, they go. We draw a land and guess Virtue, I guess, but they have these Urtai, which is annoying. There was one Sheoldred's Edict in the board when Seth first, in the main when Seth first built it, but Anoint seemed much more important, so I think playing a blot out or an Edict somewhere that I is certainly reasonable. Rude. Now they're up multiple cards. Man, this is a really embarrassing game. All right, well, they have drawn the bigger half of their deck. We've drawn the smaller removal half of our deck. They still have Go for the Throat. We didn't draw Lamp for Virtue. I think we're basically just dead here. Let's kill this. We're 12. Tough match. You know, we maybe punted game one. Obviously, they drew a one-outer, but, like, it was probably still a punt. This game they've drawn pretty well, too. We've drawn very, very badly. But them's the breaks, I guess, you know? Certainly, this is a mid-range deck through and through, where, like, you need to draw the right cards at the right times, which is just kind of how these decks work. And when you don't, things get a little ugly. When you do, so things are great. We have 6 life points. I don't think we have any outs here. With an Urtai in their hand, too. Could have Eclipsed and cut down the Preacher. That's fair. That's the thing we could have done. Might have been reasonable. The Shrink effects are funny. In round, like, I don't know, 11 of Worlds, I cast Harvester of Misery, and then I cast a Virtue Persistence, and then I cut down my opponent's White Overlord. It's the only way to kill it, which is funny, but draw tap land, yeah, we're just dead here. So maybe he's Reefs also, we're just dead. So yeah, I mean, pretty tough game, but what are you gonna do? That just happens sometimes, just is what it is. That game one was something else. On the play. Hand is not great, but you can't mulligan this hand, so we're gonna keep. No interaction, nothing that costs us in 3. Obviously a bunch of great draws, you know, but you know, Glissa into Sheoldred. The Phyrexian duo. Mountain. So Spirit. Alright, well, we just draw a spell that costs 2 here, which we did. Awesome. I feel pretty good about things. Both Glissa and Sheoldred very good against some mono red decks, or red. Also, it's interesting to see if they're going to be Gruul or mono red. A mono red deck did top 8 worlds, like just classic. This is it, classic mono red. When obviously the Gruul deck was much more popular. Damn. All right, well, and the mono red deck does have Lightning Strike in it, which is interesting. We draw. I'm just gonna Harvest it on the Higher Claw here. If I play Glissa and they Lightning Strike, it's pretty bad for us. I'm just gonna kill this. We have a Wrath on 5, and then Sheoldred. They have a Scamp and a Heartfire Hero. Okay. Well, we're going to start by playing Sheoldred and making them deal with that. And if they do, I'll just Wrath. And if they don't, we win. So, cool. Yeah, Quinn O'Toole top-8 Worlds with the mono-red deck. Very unexpected. We do not consider it anyone will play mono-red. Yeah, so this is great for us. We'll block. So Monstrous Rage would be at its best on, or at its worst for us, worst for them on the Scamp. It would be a 4/2, and it would die and shoot the Sheoldred. I think it's fine for us. Also, they have a, yeah, this is the best, I think. So let's block. Make him do it. make him have a poor exchange, and then draw a land for cover up, or maybe play Glissa. There's the Monstrous Rage. Called it. Yeah, turn inside out also. Wow, that's kind of gross. Alright, well, we're at 10. We're actually going to 3 here. That was pretty gross. I think we're just dead. We draw a land for cover up. We did not draw a land for cover up. Well, that's embarrassing. Alright. Yeah, I guess. I'm a little scared about red in the standard for the next, like, 2 or 3 years. All the cards are getting foundations, too, but... Alright, whatever, I guess. I mean, I guess we could, you know, just try and pretend that we're not going to die, but... Alright. Draw a land for cover up there. I guess we might have still just died, but... Alright. Ember Hard Channel. We're going to 1. And Shock Me. Sure. Yeah. So that's a classic. Alright. Yeah. I mean, pretty good draw on their part. Unfortunately, not great for us. We get to bring in our cut downs and our Eclipse, our Aclazotz. Swarmy Boy good here? Not really. And cut some beans. Pillage the Bog, Robbery, Tear Asunder. They probably... Did Quinn have Foundries? Not Foundries. Forges on the board? Duress is, like, not as good against them as it is against Gruul, I think. So I guess we'll have, like, 3 Tear Asunder, maybe. This is fine. Should be a good matchup for us. So, you know, just do better. On the play. Hand is pretty good. Keep this. It's definitely not expecting that turn to go so badly for us, you know? All right, Duress ya. Hand is Shock, turn inside out. Sure. Shock seems pretty damn bad against us, but... Alright. We're going to fire in the Virtue, shrink it. $22 life, Glissa up the Beanstalk. And they have no lands. It should be a fairly easy game, I would hope. Sure. Exciting. Game 3. All right, so on the draw for Game 3 here. Pro Master 707 trying to take us down. Hello, opponent. Do you want to go first with your mono red deck? It's a tough question, you know. Many Magic the Gathering players ask themselves the question, do I want to go first when I am playing mono red? In this video, I will explain why I think it's a good idea to go first when you're playing mono red. That's fine. We could definitely get run over, but we have a tap land. If we had an untapped Black Source, we could just draw one, obviously. They mulligan, sure. Virtue's great. Draw a land, you can go for throw it and cup down in 1 turn. We have a Sheoldred, so. Iron Claw. Swamp! That is the opposite of a swamp, unfortunately. Here's a hero. Looks like no land. Right, we draw a Black Source, cool. So we're going to Virtue the hero. They miss a land drop again. And then I have next turn Beans cut down or go for throw cut down. All pretty good. They scamping. So we draw a... I think I want to play Beans here and just try and draw another land. And we'll cut down the Scamp, I think. Scamp's kind of a scary. We draw land too. It's like... They have 4 spells in their hand. This is the card that goes the worst for us, I think. I'll just kill this. Alright. They draw land. They have 4 spells in their hand. But I think we're in pretty good shape here. They're just going to pump and say go. That is nice for us. Kill this, play Marsh, say go. And then we got 5-drop City coming up. Nothing. 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 All right, well, here's Batman. Draw a card. I'm Batman. You resolved. They want to scorching shot my Bat God. Twisted Fealty. Come on down. All right. We'll discard Deadly Cover-Up, I think. I mean, that's cute and all, but now I have a 5/5 Aclazotz, so attack, discard a card. We discard that. We gain 5 life. Let's play Sheoldred, I guess. Old Shelly. GLHF. Think they have another one? Try and fealty me again. Alright. I mean, I guess. I think I just keep the Harvester and just draw a card off my Sheoldred. Draw Overlord. Even better. Alright, well, that was a match of one of the matches of all time for sure, but we'll take the win. Alright, so not too shabby. The Dimir matchup can be a little tough, honestly. You know, I think it's internally our team, half the team played Golgari and half the team played Dimir. And we played that matchup a lot, obviously, because we were both playing those decks. And I think it's like, I think it's pretty close to 50-50. Maybe you're a slight dog, but you really got to play well. And the quality of your Dimir opponent will also matter a lot, too. The tools are there, but if they have their kind of good draw, the right amount of counter spells and stuff, it can be tough. But deck's pretty sweet. It's a cool choice if you like Golgari decks or ramp decks, or if you're the kind of person who likes Golgari and Domain. This is the deck for you, obviously. But deck's great. Deck's really cool. Looking forward to Foundations coming out. I don't know, in like 10 minutes, I think. We got set reviews already up on YouTube for Foundations. 10 new brews and Bronze Mythic are coming up. Look for that article on Cool Stuff as well as on my YouTube. No early access, so unfortunately, usually 10 new brews would be this Wednesday. It's going to be next Wednesday after the official release. So kind of a quiet week here. And that's it. So hop on over to CoolStuffInc.com. Use promo code JIM5, 5% off your order on your Foundations orders and more. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'm Davis at CoolStuffInc.com. Have a good one.